right, you ready?
Yes.
All right.
I'm
Cody
always ready.
Shane, welcome to SiriusXM Pandora now. How you doing today?
Hello, my brother. I'm blessed. I'm happy to be here.
Beautiful, beautiful, man. I had the opportunity to meet you for the first time at Rari and DJ Louis V's bowling event and everything like that.
Yes.
Looked like you was having a pretty good time.
Getting
I,
whooped a little bit, but it was a lot of pressure.
you
So
was getting whooped.
I was just having fun. Yeah.
That's crazy, man. I was actually going to ask you, what were you scoring and everything like that? Because I happened to bowl next to you one time, and I don't know if it was a gutter ball or if you hit a couple of pins.
I think, and I might have said this to you, but I'll say it again. I feel like bowling is an intimate sport.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't need like 100 people watching me as I bowl because it's just so much pressure. Only one person bowls at a time, like on a lane. So it's like the whole lane is like just watching me so crazy. They skipped me on the first round, and I don't want to act like I would have did any better if I would have been there the first round, but I'm just putting that out there. Shout out to Ferrari. It was a vibe. I was on Team Ferrari anyway, and we won. We took home the trophy, so it doesn't matter. It's a team sport. It's not just about me. Luckily, I had a lot of great people to pick up my slack.
For sure, man. It was definitely a great vibe. I enjoyed myself out there too. Definitely shout out to Rari and Louis
Super.
V. But really, like, I was really glad to meet you because I had came across, the latest single that you just dropped, the visualizer and everything for pull the car around, right?
Vibes.
Yeah, man, hella vibe. I was like, okay, Cody, she got something going on.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so
I'm happy you liked it.
love the song. So if you don't mind, like, can you kind of break down that track for me, like, where it came from?
That song is one of my favorite songs that I made, that I've made last year. I made it last year. We dropped January 9th, and it's had such a great. It's been accepted and it's been perceived so well. I'm really excited, and I'm happy that everybody loves it. I feel like that song is me really having fun, and I know a lot of my music is a little. I would say it's ahead of its time. So that was me like having more fun and bridging the gap between where music is now and what I love to make. So I'm super excited. I know you could probably hear like the Don Toliver influence in there and just like that whole vibe. I was super inspired by him and his whole sound and the whole wave. So, and then me and Evans was just vibing one day and he made some harsh and I'm like, damn, it's kind of like Plug. It kind of give like a Plug vibe.
Yeah.
And then we just was vibing and it just came out crazy.
Definitely.
And I didn't play it for nobody for like a week. I was like, this shit's so hard. And yeah, I'm super excited. That's just the beginning for that record. So let's go.
For sure. And the record is definitely hot, man. I'm glad you are excited about it as I am.
Yes. I'm happy you're as excited about it as I am.
For sure. So like within that record, I know you were just talking about, just pulling different things out of you and some of the influences that you have as far as Don Toliver and everything like that. But being like, born in ATL and raised in Chicago, like how have those two places like influenced you as an artist?
I feel like I'm very Chicago, Atlanta, Chicago. I think Chicago has influenced me a lot and made me a lot like the person I am. Because I was raised there. My mother is still there to this day. My sisters are there. And I feel like Atlanta really embraced my sound. So it's like, but, they both go hand in hand. The person I am ultimately is my sound. But I feel like, I don't know, Chicago, like, I always loved music, but I feel like I started finding myself in music more when I was in Atlanta. Just like the Rich Kids and Travis Porter and like that whole wave and Roscoe Dash and that whole wave was like insane for me. And then I started growing up and listening to like Tyler the Creator and The Weeknd and Frank Ocean. I got super Frank Ocean heavy, and that's when I dove into like Andre 3000. But I feel like listening to all of like, what is that, hyperpunk? Like all of that, like the Travis Porter and like all of that before wouldn't have really led me into that. Like all the Frank Ocean and all the other stuff, because that just had my mind open. They're two different things, but that just really opened me up to like all different kind of sounds. So Atlanta played a huge part in that. And Atlanta plays a huge part in everything. Atlanta is everything, really.
For sure, man. It's definitely like a large melting pot, so you can come here and find like whatever sound that you're looking for, or create your own sound here, for real.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that they gravitated towards your music early on. So trying to kind of to jump into the EP that's coming up, you know, Young, Hot, and Vulnerable.
Super.
With the track that you were talking about, pull the car around and everything like that. How does that kind of tell the story of what you were trying to do with this EP?
I feel like Pull the Car Around is a song for women. I mean, I'm sure the guys like it too, but it's a song too. The guys do like it too. I love you. I appreciate you. But it's a song for me to make women feel sexy, and to make me feel sexy as well, but not to overly sexualize anything, but just to still be free and to have that fun. And the project is called Young, Hot, and Vulnerable, so I would say that that's my young and hot side, and that's me being young and hot. And then we have a lot of records that are me being very vulnerable and being as honest as I can. And that's me being as young and hot as I can and having as much fun as I can and trying to bring the women along with me on that journey. So, yeah. And I have to mention one more person about the last thing we were talking about, because I can't do this and not mention Chance the Rapper. Love him, you know, that's so Chicago. But what's awesome about that is I really discovered him when I was in Atlanta. So that's crazy. Like, I feel like Atlanta really just made me open me up to music. But yeah, anyway, pull the car around, get sexy, young and hot. And yeah.
Facts. So I mean, so if pull the car around is you're young and hot, what would be like the more vulnerable side? Would you say like So Many Times would be the vulnerable side?
So Many Times is definitely vulnerable. Letting Go, the intro, is very vulnerable. Very vulnerable. Back and Forth, I didn't play you that one, which I love, is very vulnerable. All of them are vulnerable. Pull the Car Around is the youngest and the hottest that we get on the project. I wanted to give you just a sprinkle of that to lead into like what I'm doing next.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so let's break down Letting Go.
Okay. Letting Go is kind of, I'm sure we all, take my glasses off for this one. I'm sure we've all been in a situation where it's like somebody that's always lingering in your orbit. You know, you two always seem to go back to each other. And I guess like this time, you're not really fully, you don't like what you see. Like you go back all the time and usually it's like, okay, I love you. So it's always like we play these games and then we part and then we come back together. But this time, something about it wasn't right. And you're realizing that it's a cycle that you get, you know, caught up in a lot. So it's like you realizing that cycle, and it's like, what's best for me? Really, what's best for both of us? Is that to let you go, or are we ready to put the games to rest? And also it talks a little bit about me having an addictive personality. So yeah, which all plays a part into the way you love. And
for sure.
Yeah.
So would you say like having that addictive personality has been kind of a hindrance when it comes to relationships, or does it kind of help sometimes?
I mean, I don't know. I guess it could be a double-edged sword. Probably a hindrance. However you said that. I am very 0 to 100. So
Word.
it's like I feel like a good thing about it is like, oh my God, I'm like 100% about you, and I want to know everything about you, and I'm like totally zoned in. The problem is when I'm no longer 100%.
Yeah. So
I'm just waiting for the creator to send me somebody that I'm always 100% on. I want to be 100% when I'm not. I feel like that's the key.
Understood. That makes a lot of sense.
But I mean, I have to make this music, so it's like I can't have the perfect life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But so I get that. I'm understanding that.
That's real. The next song I do want to break into, you mentioned it, the Back and Forth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back and Forth is kind of like, so letting go is the intro, and Back and Forth is kind of like continuing that. Like I'm tired of fading back and forth, but emotions pull me back to you. If we could, we would have had it all, but this time I won't come back to you. So I guess that's me making the decision for myself. Like, yeah, at first it's like a question of what if I let you go? Like, is it best that I let you go? And by the time we get to back and forth, it's more like we could have had it all, but I'm realizing this time I won't come back to you, come back for you. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
I'll still be okay if you leave me.
For sure.
I can't wait for you to hear that one. I feel like you're gonna like that one.
I'm excited about it too.
Super.
I'm trying to remember the track list personally, but I'm not sure if So Many Times came before Back and Forth or after.
I'll pull it up so we don't make any mistakes on camera. So Many Times is number 6 and Back and Forth is number 7.
Okay, So Many Times came before Back and Forth. So break down So Many Times as it kind of leads into that.
So Many Times is I wish I could live without being so attached. Like I wish I could, and that goes for not only people but just in general. I try now to practice not being too attached to anything. My mom tells me a lot to hold on to things with a loose grip because they can get ripped from you, and you don't want to hold on too tightly. So I try to practice not being attached to anything. My phone, my whatever it is, material things, and people as well. And I think people is the hardest part. So I kind of talk about, wishing that it was a way that I could live without being so attached. And we both crossed the line so many times, and we both know that, but it's also me fighting back and forth with myself because it's like I can't ever stop with you, and I thought I would die for you, but I'm realizing I can't let you be my demise. So it's fire.
Yeah.
Beautiful as all pain is.
That's real. I can definitely relate. It's like you said, having that addictive personality is one of those things where you fall in a lot, but then you also allow a lot when it comes to certain things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
So that becomes the biggest battle. It's like fighting yourself, like, why I keep letting you do this?
Yeah. I was like, I was a kid and I watched this movie. I was probably like 13, maybe 12, 13. It was The Perks of Being a Wildflower. And they said in that movie, we accept the love we think we deserve. I didn't know what that meant for the longest time because I was so young. But now I'm just now getting to the age, I'm 25, and that stuck with me forever. And it's like we accept the love we think we deserve. And it's so true.
Very
so
true.
Until we think and know that we deserve more, we'll keep accepting whatever the hell that is over there.
I dig it. That's real. That's real. I've never seen that movie, but that's definitely like.
You should give it a watch. It's a great movie.
Yeah.
It's like a coming of age story about a kid in high school. It's super dope.
What do you know around the time it was filmed?
I want to say probably I'm gonna look it up. If I was 13, then it had to be 2013, 2014. 2012. I knew it.
Okay.
I was definitely 12. Or 13. I was 13. I'm always a year older than the year.
Word. When's your birthday?
October 28th.
Okay. That's what?
Scorpio.
Scorpios. Okay.
My sign is God. They be hearing your sign, and now you know my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't know my life. No. But yeah, Perks of Being a Wildflower. Give that a watch if you're a movie whore like me.
For sure. All right, the last song I do want to break into is that Love and Champagne.
Love and Champagne. Yeah, so that's also another song kind of about cycles. Like, I know that I keep getting caught in these cycles, and it's almost like me having a night where it's like, I don't know who gave me all these drinks. I don't know how I'll make it home. Love and Champagne is like what my life is surrounded around. Is surrounded by love, champagne, and fitness right now in life, in music, obviously. But then my life definitely consisted of love and champagne and me going through the motions, and that song is like one of those records, and I really love that song. My homie Evans and Cam, we did that record, and I was like, it was kind of like a sleeper. Like, I just recorded it, and then 2 days later we listened to it, like, man, this is crazy. Mm-hmm. So then we put the verse on it, and yeah, and that's when I was going through my no tequila phase. So yeah. That's something so cool about music. It gets to capture my phases.
Yeah.
And I have many of them. So my own little diary. But yeah, cycles, man.
For sure. So how long would you say you've been working on this EP? Or is it just kind of like a comp?
I've probably been working on this EP. Let me think. When was that one show where Darius was out here and we did those 2 shows that weekend? You know what I'm talking about? What month was that? What month was that? The 3-set show. I probably had 1 or 2 of these records for a year, a little under a year. And then the rest, like, intentionally working on this project, like 6 months, I want to say. 6 to 9 months. Yeah, and then as the music came, the name came. And, yeah, and now it's on its way to you, to the world. So I'm super excited about it.
And you said as the music came, the name came, so it just kind of popped in your head randomly one day, or did you kind of have an idea of the
I was
theme?
with some homies like 2 years ago, and we were just joking around like, oh, we get vulnerable and we cry, we're young, whatever. And then I was with another homie like under a year ago, and we were just talking. I was like, young, hot, and vulnerable, we got to put it on a shirt. Mm-hmm. So then I was just playing with that idea. I made some shirts, and people liked the shirts, and then I started to fall in love with the name even more, and I realized that the music that I was making, not intentionally, but ended up being young, hot, and vulnerable, and it just kind of fell together.
I dig it.
Yeah.
That's real. So, like, with you going through all of these cycles and everything that you do, like, what are some of the ways that you kind of decompress, like, outside of the music?
I love the gym. Mm-hmm. I found a huge love for the gym over the last year, almost 2. Like year and a half. I think it's not even just about the physical, but it's huge for your mental, and it can help you improve in all areas of life. I'm huge on family, so I'm super big about going home and just being there and not doing anything. I think I have to force myself to do it, but it's important. And I'm also like trying to find new things that I like. I'm learning how to play chess, which is cool. Trying to think, and I love to make music. That's like my shit. I'm learning that I actually like to bowl. I feel like I would like it. I would like to do it more often with less people. Yeah. Yeah, trying to find new shit that I like, new stuff that I like to do. I just wanted, right now I'm just focused on like immersing myself fully and like into my craft and sharpening my knife as much as I can before war.
I dig it. That's very, very respectable. It's also okay if you cuss here.
Say that one more time.
I said it's also okay if you cuss here.
Oh, gangsta. Fuck you. No, I'm just joking. You gotta keep it clean still. You know, my nieces and my nephew like to watch me.
Dig it. All right. So another thing is just like, you know, what are some of the challenges that you face like being a female artist?
I think when you're a girl, and I mean this is obvious. I think when you're a girl and you play in the male-dominated sport, I'm gonna call it a sport, and you play just as good as the boys, but you don't want to kiss any of the boys, I think it makes the game a little bit harder for you, but that much more funner when you win. And I think now music is in such a beautiful place because it's so much optimism. It's so it can go, it can go to the moon, and women have much more of are much more to the forefront, and I'm excited about that. I just think that when you're doing it for the art and you're doing it for other reasons, I think it's just the road less traveled, and it takes you a little longer, but I've become okay with that. Like, I've been doing music for so long, and I've come to understand what it really means to me and what I want out of it and what happiness actually is for me. Right. And it makes my job make way more sense. And I don't see the struggles now. I don't really, I see them, they're there, but they don't exist to me. You know what I'm saying? I just keep doing, I keep my blinders on, and you know what I mean? It's always going to be somebody that don't like it or somebody that's don't fuck with it, or somebody that doesn't understand it, but it's not for them, you know.
100%.
It's all about what you believe in, but that's another conversation.
So I guess within that, well, the first thing I do want to kind of ask, just out of what you said, is like, what is happiness to you?
I feel like happiness is love, and God is love, so God is everything, and God is happiness, and family is love, so family is, I could break that down all day, but happiness to me is really just family, and understanding, like, your purpose and who you are. So I'm still really understanding mine, but I know when I fully know, like I know that I'm on the path to fully knowing, and when I fully know, I'm gonna fully immerse myself in that, and that'll be happiness for me. And
Right.
kids are the closest thing to like true happiness and purity. So yeah, man, family, love, God, and music. That's happiness to me. I want some land and shit.
Yeah,
I'm trying to just do that, you know what I mean?
For
and just tour the world and see the world with the people that I love, and change people's lives while I do it. That's all I care about.
I respect that wholeheartedly.
Thank you.
What would you tell aspiring rappers, since you've been around the game for a minute, had an array of experiences and, things that you've gone through? Like, what would you give inspiring rappers?
The only reason they fuck with you now is because they like what you were doing when they weren't fucking with you. So keep doing what you like. That's all it's about. I feel like as artists, we get caught up in having a moment, and then we start to make our art thinking, oh my God, what are they gonna like? I want them to like this again, like how they like that. And then the art kind of suffers because it no longer comes from your heart and what you love. So keep making what you like. If people don't like it, it's not for them. It's for somebody. It's so many people in the world. It's for somebody. So just keep going. Say your prayers. Thank your God. Honor your mother and your father. And keep it going.
Real. All right.
Pop it.
Pop it. All right, I do want to, I'm going to wrap it up on these last couple of questions. The first one is, what does hip-hop mean to you?
Man, hip-hop is honestly everything to me. When I first really started making music, I felt like I could rap. I was like, I'm a rapper. Like, I got bars. Like, I'm fine. So, but then I really dived into making songs, and then I realized, oh, okay, I'm a writer. Like, I'm a songwriter. But without hip-hop, I would have never even had the courage to start making songs. I feel like hip-hop is everything. Hip-hop is confidence. Hip-hop is a part of my identity. Yeah, I love it. I love you.
Love it. And the last question to wrap it up is, what is your most memorable moment in music? And it can be like in hip hop, something personal, like whatever that you remember that's kind of like stuck out to you over the time.
My most memorable moment in hip hop, 2016 Made in America Festival. I saw Chance the Rapper perform for and this is just a very memorable moment. This came up, 50,000 people, and they all had their hands up, and they were doing the same thing. I don't know if you know how insane it is to see 50,000 people do the same thing. Insane. And you're on the stage, and you're just like, oh my God, this is nuts. Yeah, that was a crazy moment.
Definitely. Yeah. Cody, we really appreciate having you here. It's definitely great to be able to, just sit down, talk to you, listen to some of the music, see what you got coming up. Like I said, your music is showing a lot of growth.
I appreciate that.
I'm definitely excited to see what this year holds for you. And anytime you need to stop by the office, get something off, come holler at us.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you. And I'm excited. Thank you. And we're going crazy. Yeah.
Yes, man.